I want to talk about truck commercials real quick because they're always interesting. You've got Ford with that really annoying guy who says things really quickly in a really abrupt way, and they show these images for like half a second a piece, and it really doesn't make any sense, but it's there for short attention spans. It's there for the beer belly people. And, you know, if that works for them, it works. Obviously, Ford does sell the most trucks. Then you've got Ram, which is like a guy who goes, "You never know, but there you go, Ram." And then you've got GMC. And that's an interesting one because that shows advertisements where there are well-dressed couples in front of multi-million-dollar homes in Colorado and little puppies. And it's always like the guy giving the woman an SUV and then the woman giving a man a truck. And this is that truck. It's the 21 GMC Sierra Denali. As you see, we have the split tailgate here. It comes down in different ways, and all I'll say is yes, it's pretty trick, and it has all these little features. You can have a little stopper here if you have extra long items in the bed, and yada yada. I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos on it. All I will say is it's a really heavy tailgate, and that's kind of annoying because it's really hard to lift, especially if you are older. Let's just say you're in your 60s or something, and you have arthritis. There's just no self-closing option for it, and that's unfortunate because this truck is like $72,000. We have our built-in steps in the bumpers. We've got trapezoidal tailpipes. Obviously, that helps with the ground clearance. And if we go over to the interior of the truck, we'll start with the back seat. We have the automatic deploying side rails, and I think even if you kick it, boom, they come over, and with that kick they slide over near the wheel so that you can step up and reach into the front of the bed. Very handy indeed. I'm surprised that this liner is like a plastic liner and it's not a spray-in liner like it is on other trucks, but every truck is going to be different. They all serve a different purpose. There we go. Boom. The interior here is very GM. I'm not impressed. I'm not blown away. It has really weird things like built-in liquor cabinets, which makes no sense because these seats don't fold forward. You get arm headrests that fold forward to get out of the way so you can see through the rear, but the seats are at an okay incline, but they don't do much. Like, you can't recline them like you can in a Ram. The floor is almost as flat as a Ford, but look at these floor mats. Are these the wrong floor mats in here or what? They're way too short. It's really annoying. I look back here and I go, well, that's where the mat should be, but how come it's not all the way over here? Is that like your typical GM budget cut, or did they put the wrong mats back here? I don't know. Then we have this partition, which isn't movable like it is on other trucks, and then the seat back folds vertical, and while it does provide storage room back here for items that you don't want to get, I don't know, into the elements or outside, it's just an annoying back seat setup. We do have rear heated seats, which is nice, and 2 USB ports, C as well, and 12-volt outlet and little air vents. So it's not bad back here, although there is no panoramic sunroof like there are on other trucks. So I do like this wood trim, although it's very Ford F-150 to me. And what else? You know what? There it goes. The side step, when you unlock the truck, it doesn't deploy. You have to open the door before it deploys. And I don't know how I feel about that either, actually. Before we get into the driver's seat, Bose. And as I always say, Bose blows. And it took me a while to realize this is a Bose stereo, but I realized there's something wrong with it. It just doesn't sound perfect. But other trucks provide other sound experiences that are much better. Okay, getting into this truck, you hear the deployed boards going back inside. Let's go ahead and start it up. I think I'm gonna have to mute the stereo here. Yep. But it's not a terrible truck. It's just very GMC-like. And you could see just by looking at those glove boxes, they haven't really changed much over the last 3 decades. But the rest of the truck is decent. But there are some bad things here, and there are some really good things. And that's why I'm 50-50 on this truck. It's odd. Like, the really annoying thing is right there, that heated seat button. If I press it, I expect to see immediate response. And there's a delay. So when I get in the morning and I hit the heated seat button, I go impatient with it because it's like, oh, it's not on. I'll hit it again. And by the time I hit it a second time, I've already reduced it. That delay with the lights is weird. But the other thing you'll see is the way this plastic just moves. That button is built into this whole face, and this whole face flexes, and all the little button rows down here flex with it as well. So to me, that build quality is, let's just say, interesting, because this whole panel might look like separate pieces, but it's an entire panel, and then you've got these weird feeling buttons in here. And as I press the button, the whole row moves. And Mercedes is doing that on the new S-Class in a little bit of a different way, but I think that's really annoying to have like an entire button bar and the whole thing just kind of moves. To me, that doesn't really scream quality. The other thing that's annoying is the turn on these HVAC controls. The next detent is a very far rotation. So while you feel like you're getting that detent with every 1 degree change, it's just a huge amount of change you have to do. And look at that. Looks like a burnt out pixel, but it's not. Not on camera, at least. So, to turn it, the reaction of it isn't exactly one detent. You just have to continuously rotate this knob. So, the whole HVAC button center stack column here just does not feel like $72,000. However, where you do get the money out of this thing is right there, if you can see it, with the heads-up display. So the heads-up display, what I'll do is I'll actually back up here for you. And there's the hint about the other thing that's really cool about this truck. And these are the only things that really redeem it. Okay, there's the heads-up display. And you can actually change the heads-up display configuration. Right now I've got some off-road information. This is a 4x4 truck, obviously. And the information there is like, I don't know, it's about a 14-inch wide look on the screen. And the way it's projected just above the front bumper. And that's a really nice touch. I really appreciate the way they've gone all out on that, because, well, that's a very neat thing, and I like that in any vehicle, let alone a truck. So to have that in this truck is really nice. Second thing I noticed in here is we have a trailer mode. You put it to the left, and you go into a haul mode. When it works, there you go, the little trailer icon there. But then we also have another mode. If you go to the right, you could see normal, sport, and off-road. And I've never seen a sport mode on a truck before, and that's interesting. We get our basic, Chevy Corvette style racing flag in there, which is really cool. And we also have our electronic controls for 2 high, 4 low, 4 high, and then auto, and a bunch of lighting controls. So now, as I start warming up to the truck, I realize, okay, well, if you get past this interior and you get past the controls and you just get back to driving it, maybe we're on to something. So let me do something. I'll put it back into normal mode. And by the way, when you rotate this knob, it doesn't always react immediately, so I don't understand what that's about. That's, again, a part of this whole control thing that's happening over here as well. There's a delay, and it's really annoying. Watch. Rotate it, nothing happens. Rotate it, nothing happens. Rotate twice, nothing. 1, 2, 3. I don't get it. I'm rotating it, still not working. That's a worrying sign. I mean, is that already an issue? Is it an electronics issue? Is it something that's going to happen the entire time on this truck? Will it fail after 2 years? Is this a warranty deal? Like, I don't understand. I've never had a brand new vehicle of any manufacturer that had that sort of delay. And that's what's putting me off of this truck. It's like $72,000 and it's doing those kinds of things. If this was a $15,000 truck, that'd be different, but it isn't. Now, the really cool part is, beyond the heads-up display and the sport mode and the 10-speed automatic, it's all really right here, and that's this center display, which, if I go to home, we have our little app layout, kind of looks like a tablet, yada, yada, yada. But if I go to the camera, this blows me away. So look at all these camera angles I have. I've got the front, I've got the rear, and in the rear I can choose between the ladder, which is perspective, and if I turn the wheel it moves as well, which shows you where you're going to end up. And then I also have one for trailer. So if I want to line up the ball hitch with the tow hitch, or whatever you want to call it, the tongue, if I want to line anything up, I have it right here on the camera, which is awesome. Then you'll see the different modes we're in. So we have actually two views going on. We have this view here on the left and this view on the right, and then we have a surround view, and then we have a full screen. So with the full screen, I can turn on the perspectives. If I go to the side, I've got, looking to the back of the truck from, obviously from the mirrors, I can see what's to the side of me. And if I show this, I can see from the outside of the truck, but I can't obviously scroll on it like I could on a Bentley. But that's a pretty cool trick. And then I have this view here, which is a top-down, and I'm not sure exactly how that's happening, other than some trickery, but we still see, look at this, the perspectives. Now for a truck, that is amazing. For any vehicle, that is freaking awesome. Now if I go to here, I can see a standard rear view, and then if I hit this button, I now have a view of the bed. And when I do this, I can actually zoom in on it and zoom out. But you'll notice the little LED lights in the bed are actually on. Whoa, that guy was close. What the Anyway, I mean, we saw it on the camera, and it's not like I'm far from the curb. That's amazing. All right. Well, what I was going to say was, when I turn that bed view on, the light here to control the bed light actually automatically enables. You see that little orange dot. And that's nice because you don't have to do many things. It's just all handled by the software. Really, really good job. And I can see the tow hitch directly. And that's a zoom in on right there on the hitch. And then we have a trailer one as well. If we have an accessory camera, we can see inside the trailer. And then this one here is behind the trailer as if there was no trailer. And then we have, let's see if I can do it. We have another one. There's a 360 one. How do I get there? Let's turn that one off. Let's go back to here. Okay. There was another camera view that showed, yep, look at this one. This one's the front of the vehicle. And then if I go here, which one is it? Look at this. Okay, so we saw the one where I was showing the rear from the mirrors pointing back to the bed. Now I've got the mirrors pointing down to the front wheels so I can see when I'm off-roading, you know, where I am. I don't need a pointer outside the vehicle. I can see how close I am to the curb or some obstacles. But think about that for a second. How many cameras are on this truck? I've got one camera angle forward in the mirror, one camera angle rear in the mirror. I've got one camera up front. I've got a camera for the bed. I've got a camera for the tow hitch. And then I've got a camera for the rear view when I back up. But there's another camera right there. I mean, this thing is insane. Now I'm starting to see where the $72,000 comes into play, because how is that not cool? So it is hard, by the way, when you're driving to adjust to a screen like this, and because your depth perception has to change when you're going from the distance that way, and you then look this way and you're like, oh wait, so if I switch between, you'll see the depth perception is completely different. And when you're driving along, it's really something you have to get used to. So I think if you're owning this truck, you're never going to switch back and forth. You're going to go with this or not with this. Anyway, getting back to this, that's the tech. The tech here really makes this thing a tour de force when it comes to either off-road capability, towing or trailering capability, or just maneuverability. And all these different modes are really handy to have. And I think it's just, you know, they've organized it in a way like this is all your towing stuff and your maneuverability and your cargo, and then this side here is really just all your typical city stuff and your drivability in town. But look at that, front to rear out of the same mirror cameras. Freaking awesome. And then that's the standard view I've been working on. Well, wait, it's actually using that one. There we go. That is insane. This is like, you couldn't even set up enough GoPros to do this on Final Cut Pro and have your own like movie editing. The way they've built it in here, really nice. So we've got our air conditioning on auto. I've got lane keeping assist, which will also steer the truck, keep the truck in the lane, which is nice. It's very gentle. It doesn't rock the boat, so to say. And parking assist, we have auto stop start on the engine. It's very unnoticeable. I don't notice it actually at all at the red lights. So I haven't been disabling it. Although every time you turn the vehicle on, you will have to disable this if you don't want the engine to shut off. I've got our tailgate here. We can deploy the tailgate, although we cannot have it come back up, which I think they need to consider in trucks. They need to motorize the tailgate to lift. If it doesn't detect any weight on it, it should be lifting up. Hazards, traction off. This is the power outlet, so I think it creates the, or activates the inverter so that I can use the power outlet in the back. Hill descent control. And this weird looking thing, this is a weird one. If I press it, it makes noise. And that's actually deploying the running boards. And if I press it again, they've been extended to the tire. And to see that, I think I can go here. Yep, you can see them. All right, and if I press it again, you'll see the running boards disappear. Nice. If I press it again, that's standard, but you can't see it. And that's out towards the tires. Cool. So this thing is, it's like driving a cargo ship. So storage-wise, we still have our traditional GM version of a phone holder here. And you'll see I have my invisible phone right here, which comes in handy. And that's over the wireless charging. Very nice to have. We have our face mask storage here, I guess we're gonna say, sadly enough. And then cup holders. There are 2 more cup holders back here for the rear passengers. And I'm not sure if there are cup holders in that center thing, but I can't even reach it. I'll show you, I'll get out and show you. In here we have our typical file cabinet system. We have a little light here, which is cheesy because it's activated by this. I don't know why they wouldn't just keep that light on. How hard is that? They have to add this little part here. I'm surprised the accountants made that happen. But there's no storage inside of this bin. So you have no like loose change. There's nowhere to put like really loose things. We all have 2 more USB ports and an SD card storage thing. But I guess your shades would go up here, and yeah, it's almost a little limited on storage until you understand more things, like the pockets here, and let's go here, more storage right there, and then if I go back here, more cup holders for the rear, so that's good. All right, let's drive this thing. All right, let's just jump on in here, get my seatbelt on, listen to those floorboards deploy or retract, whatever. Okay, so down here I also have a menu. I can go through this menu with these buttons here. We have great navigation, we've got our stereo, and then we have our just regular trip info. So we'll take that, put it in drive with the column shifter, and away we go. What I really like about this truck is the way this 10-speed automatic works. Most of the big trucks I've driven, the Rams in particular, when you drive them, they just kind of accelerate and then they change gear, and there's kind of like a dead zone as they go forward. When they change gears, it just sort of feels like that next gear is like a plateau for the speed, and then you have to constantly accelerate to keep moving forward. I know it probably doesn't make sense, but when you get into this truck and drive it with this 10-speed auto, it just wants to keep moving forward. And it's a smooth progression. I put my foot down and it just keeps going. And it just keeps changing gears, and it just keeps going. And it just keeps going and going and going. And now it doesn't have an air suspension like an expensive Ram would in the same price category, but the ride itself is very, I would just say, large. It's a large truck. When I accelerate, it picks up and it goes, and it just keeps changing gears, and it just keeps going forward, and it's amazing. Now I start to see, if you can look past the fiddly knobs and the fidgety buttons and the Bose stereo, and if you can enjoy the cameras, and if you can enjoy all the goodies that come with it that you start to notice, then you can just keep driving and enjoying the truck for what it's worth. It can tow like 9,000 pounds and change, like 9,100 pounds. So it's a decently capable truck. I mean, it's a 1500, so it's a half ton, and you can't expect too much out of it. But for the options, you can get a diesel, a 5.4 liter, and I think a 6.4 liter V8 gas engine. So we have blind spot monitoring. We've got all the tech in here like you would in a Corvette, or for instance a Chevy Bolt, or just, you know, the typical run-of-the-mill. I wanted to actually get more space here. I wanted to show you sport mode. Okay, so let's go into mode. Doesn't do it. There we go. Okay, so sport mode, it downshifts a little bit. Oh yeah, it downshifts a lot sooner too. But there's no like sport suspension or anything like that, obviously. We don't have that ride adjustment here. We'll go ahead and exit here, sport mode. Moves pretty good. It's a pretty nice day out. It's like December 28th, and it is 58 degrees. Temperature's right there. So I feel like, you know, GMC in general is like the American version of an Audi. And I haven't had much of a chance to drive this truck. I haven't done a road trip in it or anything. I took a Lexus LC500 convertible instead. Part of that's because when I do these videos, I do not get paid by the manufacturer. I only get paid by the ads on YouTube. So when I was doing a road trip, I was thinking, well, I could drive this truck and pay more in fuel, or drive the Lexus and pay a little less in fuel. And that's really all it was about. I wish I had more time with this truck, because I would love to do a towing trip, or just any kind of like, you know, drive to a remote part of Colorado or something, just to see how well it does. But I can tell you right now, just the way this thing feels now, it just continuously pushes forward. There's this effortless momentum forward, and you don't even feel the gear changes. You don't even care. It is, they've done a really good job on that, on the powertrain aspect. They've done a terrible job on this switchgear, but the rest of it, I mean, the tech, the screens, the way it will keep me directed in the lane with lane keeping. Let's see if it'll recognize it here. Nope, going too slow for that. I've had it work on me before. Maybe there's a certain speed you have to go below. Let's see, we'll just figure that out as we drive along. So anyway, I don't get paid for these reviews. I just get the vehicles for a week, and I tell you exactly what I think you should know about them. I don't dive into the horsepower or any of those other numbers, because those numbers always change. The price is really the only standpoint right now that matters if you're buying a brand new vehicle, but you are watching New Car Spin, so I'm going to give you lowdown on what this car was like when it was new, if you're watching this in the future, which in this case, this is now the past, but at least you know what this truck was like when it was brand new. And as far as the window sticker, I think that might be in the glove box. I'll show you exactly what the rundown is here on the options. First, that's not the glove box, that's just like, I don't know, your tool holder. Yeah, your fuel thing. Boom. Window sticker. $71,910. These are the options. Multi-Pro audio system, Bose, not my thing. Base price is $58,700, and then the biggest option here is the Denali Ultimate package for $4,900. And then we have the 22-inch black wheels, which are pretty nice. And this one has the 6.2 liter V8. I was calling it a 6.4. So there's a 5.4, a 6.2, and then a diesel. And I've been hearing that the diesel is more efficient in the larger Sierra / Silverado trucks than it is in the older, slightly smaller Colorado / Canyon trucks. So fuel economy is what it is. For a truck or even a sports car, I don't think people really care. Fuel economy only matters when you're getting an economy car, because that's what it's supposed to be. Safety ratings look pretty good, parts content, blah, blah, blah. This one's made in Flint, Michigan. Is it? No, wait. No. Roanoke, Indiana. So one's made in Flint, the other one's made in Indiana. And all I can tell you is, I don't understand why their ads show women buying their men trucks and men buying their women SUVs, but it is what it is there. But I can tell you that every day, more than 425 of these GMC Sierras are sold. And that's not even the Silverados. The Silverados, every 2.5 Silverados sold, there's one GMC Sierra sold. And Ram, there's like 4 times more Ram trucks sold than these GMC Sierras. And as far as the Ford F-150, which there are many, many configurations of all sorts of different trucks, the Ford F-150 is obviously the top seller, but they range from single cab, double cab, king cab, crew cab, whatever they call that cab, A, B, C, D, and then they've got short bed, long bed, flat bed, blah, 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 blah. So trucks can be all sorts of different things. So when I review this truck, I'm reviewing this truck, not all GMC trucks, not all Sierras, not all Silverados, this one. So keep that in mind. I do like the fact that you spent this much time watching my video. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel so. And I guess there are notifications. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. I don't know. But basically, as far as all the trucks go, I mean, I'm a big Ram guy. I like those Ram trucks. I think this is the second truck I would consider. So Ram, GMC Sierra, Denali, and I haven't driven a Ford truck yet, which is interesting. But when I do, you'll know if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So let me know what you think about this truck. I think it drives very nicely, and it actually, as far as the way it progresses down the road with this 10-speed auto and this 6.2 liter V8, it feels much more propulsion. There's much more propulsion. I don't know exactly what to say compared to the Ram with the 5.7 liter Hemi and their 8-speed automatic. I just think it's a pretty good truck. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. More on the way. Back to the studio.